Welcome back to Weems Motor Co. Today we're going to talk about Harley Davidson. Stick around. Alright, so if you are new around here, you might be saying, well, why does he say it like that? Well, here at Weems Motor Co., Harley Davidson is not our favorite motorcycle brand in the world. It's probably not even our second favorite. But I wanted to do this video today to talk about Harley and why I have so much of a disdain for Harley Davidson Motor Company. So, we're going to talk today about my top 5 reasons I hate Harley Davidson. Let's do this.
Alright. Before you even start commenting, you're like, alright, Jared, how are you going to make a video on how much you hate Harley Davidsons when you're actually riding on a Harley Davidson? That makes no sense. Well, the way I explain this bike to everybody is it's just like my Toyota Corolla. Nothing special. It'll get me from point A to point B. That's it. So let's talk about why I have such issues with Harley Davidson. So my first issue that I have is that Harley Davidson is just too good at marketing. Yeah, I know that's kind of like a slapstick excuse of why I don't like Harleys, but hear me out. Harley is amazing at what they do when it comes to marketing because they've branded an image. Now that image has been sold to motorcycle riders across the world. It's been so much so that it's created Harley Davidson to be the pinnacle of motorcycle ownership. As if once you have a Harley Davidson, you have made it. There's no other motorcycle better than that. Well, I don't believe that. I believe that there's many great motorcycles out there, and we're going to kind of discover some of those thoughts as we go through this video. But Harley, in their marketing, they decided that it's not only about the motorcycle, it's about the rider. It's about what that rider wears. It's the image he presents. And man, have they done an amazing job at selling that. So much so that so many people have bought on what I call they drank the Kool-Aid. There's nothing but Harley Davidson for them. So good on you, Harley Davidson, for doing that. Another great thing about Harley is they are super generous. Now, Harley has been the sponsor of many of the national motorcycle shows that I've attended. Yeah, I bring Triumphs to these shows, but Harley is so generous and wants to be a part of the motorcycling community. They sponsor these events. Not only that, but they also give away motorcycles to help those events and also non-profits like we've seen with Forgotten Angels. So Harley Davidson, good on you. I really wish that Triumph would take a couple of your cues, especially in the marketing and the generosity department. Nothing more that I would love to do than to take a modern Triumph and recreate it into something that has history and lineage just like Harley Davidson does. The last thing on this point I would say is that Harley Davidson is not afraid to try new things. Now, when I say that, we stop and think, well, Harley Davidson's been producing essentially the same motorcycle for years and years and years, the same style, cruisers, yada, yada, yada. But here within the last couple years, we've seen things like the Pan America, the Sportster S come out. And those motorcycles are an escape away from what we've always known Harley Davidson to be, that essential cruiser with the V-twin and yada, 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 yada. So, good on you, Harley Davidson. You did a good job. Still don't like you. Matter of fact, those things kind of make me not like you a little bit more. I guess probably more in a jealous sort of manner. But hey, good on you. Good job, Harley.
Alright, the second reason that I really don't like Harley Davidson is something to do with their specs. Now, the number one motorcycle, in my opinion, right now within the Triumph brand is the Triumph Speed Twin. Now, the comparable motorcycle that Harley Davidson carries is that brand new Harley Davidson Sportster S. And it's a hot rod. And it kind of makes Triumph look bad, so I don't like that at all. Now, the Sportster has a 1250 motor. The Speed Twin has a 1200 motor, so automatically they have a little bit more cc's to them. However, the Harley does weigh a little bit more, and that's something typical for most Harley Davidsons. Man, these bikes can weigh up well over 600 pounds, but the Sportster actually weighs 502 pounds compared to the Speed Twin at 476. Now, we know that weight has a lot to do with performance. The lighter it is, the faster it can go. Case in point, 1956, our Born Free build, where I shaved over 30 pounds just off the motor to make it go faster. But Harley Davidson, in spite of the huge amount of weight on the Sportster, they're still able to pull 121 horsepower compared to the Triumph at 98.6. Triumph, what are you doing? Who cares about a 0.6 of a horsepower? About the only time I've seen point something horsepower was like on a lawnmower. Come on, Triumph, get it together. The next thing would be, all right, well, you got horsepower. Well, all right, where's the torque fall in? Because we know that torque is that power you feel that whenever you hit the throttle. Harley, once again, with the Sportster S, blows Triumph out of the way, man. Come on, Triumph, step it up. Dude, Harley's pulling 94 foot-pounds of torque compared to the Triumph at 83. Guys, that pisses me off. Harley, why you gotta be so much better than Triumph? Why? AJ, come on.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? You doing good?
You're doing good. All right, so the next point we're going to talk about is the price. Man, Harley Davidsons are expensive as all get out. Now, the Sportster S, you can walk out of a dealership for around $16,000. Comparatively, the Triumph Speed Twin is at $13,000. And when you're talking about Harley Davidsons, man, the price just goes up from there. It's kind of bad to let you spend so much money on a motorcycle just because a name is attached to it. Now, what Harley does have going for them is there are tons of dealerships across the nation. As a matter of fact, Harley Davidson has 698 dealerships in America. Triumph only has 170. Now, we know there are more Harley Davidsons on the road than any other brand, at least in America. Probably other countries, you got things like Hondas and stuff. But if you go to your typical motorcycle repair shop, not being a Harley shop, you're going to see a lot of Harley Davidsons being worked on. I don't know if it's because they're fragile. I know they're slow, but they're a lot of times found being worked on in these shops. So I have not seen very many Triumphs at shops being worked on, and that's not to say that's because probably there's not a whole lot of Triumphs out there on the road. But I think we can all agree Harley Davidson is way overpriced. So what I want you to do right now, I want you to jump down in the comments. Jump down in the comments and let me know how much you think a Harley Davidson Sportster should sell for. I'm gonna guess it's not $16,000. Let us know. Alright guys, so before I get to the number 4 reason I hate Harley Davidson, I just want to let everybody know that all of our merchandise is in stock at the Weems Motor Co. store. So if you've been looking for the Weems Motor Co. shirts, hats, stickers, We even got Triumph parts now. Head over to our website. It's in the description below. All right. Now, everything that I've said so far might seem kind of like a backhanded compliment to Harley Davidson. Now I'm really going to get into the nitty-gritty of Harley Davidson and one of the things that I really don't like about them. Now, we've all heard it said, buy USA products, support the United States, Harley Davidson is made in the USA. Is it? Have you done your research? Here's a couple little points about Harley Davidson being made in the USA. They're great bikes. They are assembled in the USA, but not all the parts come from the good old United States of America. Matter of fact, the brakes, they come from Italy. The pistons inside the motor come from Austria. The suspension and some of the other parts come from Japan. All of the electric components come from Mexico and China, people. Now, if you're so supportive of made in the USA, all of my products must come from the USA, I want you to reach in your pocket right now, pull out that cell phone, and tell me where that's made at. So if you're a Harley rider and you're so, it's gotta be made in the USA, I'm sorry, but some of the most important components on the motorcycle you are riding, and you would die for that brand, they're not made in the USA. They might be put together here, but it's not an all USA made motorcycle. Sorry.
Alright, so the last point, number 5 being of why I don't like Harley Davidson, has kind of less to do with the actual Harley Davidson Motor Company and more to do with the owners. Now, I am not saying that all Harley people are this way, or I'm not making these general statements saying that if you have a Harley, you're gonna be like this. I'm more saying that in general, the typical Harley owner is this. The typical Harley owner is a Harley rider, and they're a Harley rider. That means they are loyal like no other people I've ever met. They are loyal to their brand, and that is something that is non-negotiable. A Harley rider is not going to have a Honda. They're not going to have a Triumph. They're not going to ride anything other than that brand, Harley Davidson. That's not a bad thing. It's kind of good. Matter of fact, I'm pretty brand loyal to Triumph as it is. Even though I'm saying all of these great things about Harley Davidson, it's not going to change my mind to say I want to go out and buy a Harley Davidson. I was given this motorcycle. I wouldn't have bought it. Another thing about Harley Davidson owners, man, I have to say that they fit in this box. The average age of a Harley Davidson owner is 44 years old. 1 year less than me. Well, I'll be 44 here in a few months. But if you were to take 10 Harley Davidson owners and put them in a line, the average age of those 10, 8 out of 10 are going to be over the age of 35. So we got a bunch of my generation, older people riding these Harleys. So what are those other ages for those younger guys? What kind of bikes do they ride? You know, what brands of Harley Davidson? Something that these Harley Davidson owners, they get stuck on is this tradition. You know, it's gotta be a V-twin engine. It's gotta be naturally aspirated. It's gotta be gasoline fueled, 4-stroke engine. Oh, yeah, whatever. Harley had a huge backlash when a couple of years ago they released the live wire, and I think that live wire was what they were trying to do to grab the attention of those new riders. I love the idea of that. Just like when they released the Pan America, they were trying to reach inside that adventure rider's mind and grab their attention and give them something that may be cool. So those are the 5 things that I hate about Harley Davidson. Now, those are great things. I love it. I wish that Triumph would jump on board with this. Maybe glean a little bit of their wisdom and knowledge of being able to sell motorcycles. And, you know, I'm kind of blessed. Here in Tampa, we actually have the #1 selling Triumph dealership in America. So, super cool to have that right here in our backyard. But sometimes I just think that, you know, Triumph could do a little bit more. They could reach into the community of motorcyclists. They could sponsor events. They could donate motorcycles to raise money for charities. They could do so much more than to just have a dealership and expect people to walk in their doors and buy motorcycles. So Triumph, Triumph, Triumph. Please, please, for the love of Weems Motor Co., do better. Well guys, that's going to wrap up the video for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, jump down, hit that subscribe button. If you really like the video, hit that thumbs up, turn those notifications on, and let everyone know what's going on right here at Weems Motor Co. Peace!